Welcome to today's video. Today, we're going to talk about visualization, how to do it correctly and how to use it to rewire your brain so that you can create the life that you want. Let's dive in. I want to give you a real quick example or just a story. I want you to come along with me, right? I want you to imagine that you're dreaming, you're asleep, and you're walking through a forest, and it's a beautiful forest, and then out of nowhere, a tiger pops up. And the tiger turns and looks at you dead in the eye and it starts running after you. And you turn around, you start running from it and it's chasing you and you're running from it and you look over your shoulder, it's getting closer and you're running and you look over your shoulder again. And just as you look over your shoulder, you can see that it's lunging at you and its teeth are about to sink in to your face. And then boom, you wake up and you're sweaty and you're out of breath and your heart rate is through the roof. Have you ever had this happen before? Most people have, where you have some sort of dream, where the dream caused you to be out of breath, maybe you jumped out of bed, your heart rate's through the roof, you're sweaty. And what's crazy about that is that none of it was real. None of it. You were laying in your bed, not moving a muscle, and you woke up sweaty, you woke up out of breath, and your heart rate was going crazy. How is that possible? How is it possible that you did not move, but your body just completely reacted as if you were already running through a forest about to be attacked? How could you completely imagine a scenario, but then have such a powerful physical reaction in your body? Like I remember one time I was at a Tony Robbins event years ago with my best friend Dean and his sister. And Tony Robbins took us through this thing that's called the Dickens process, which is where you imagine everything that you want, everything that your life could possibly be, and you get so excited about it. And then imagine that all of it's taken away. Just imagine that it's all stolen from you. You can slowly start to see it disappear. And then he says, just yell as if you would if everything was taken from you. That was it. There wasn't any, hey, run around, any of that type of stuff. Just yell and just get your body physically thinking about it, your mind physically thinking about it. And they turn the lights on after this meditation visualization. And I look at Dean, and Dean is covered in sweat. Like it looks like he just took a shower, but he didn't move anywhere. He's still in the exact same seat. So how did that happen? What's happening in both of these situations? The visualization was so real in the mind that it caused an intense physical reaction in the body. The mind didn't just think about it. It was in it. It embodied it. And it shows us that when the mind really believes something strongly enough, that the body will respond to it as if it is reality. Okay? As if it is reality. Think about that for a second. When the mind believes something strongly enough, the body will respond as if it's reality. Well, what are your beliefs about yourself? What are your beliefs about your future? What are your beliefs about your life? What is possible for you? That's something to start to think about. So in both of those cases that I gave you, of the visualized future, the mind created a physical feeling in the body. Well, I'll give you a very simple one, right? You ever had a sexual thought before? Yeah. And then what happened to your body, right? The imagined future creates a feeling and changes in the body, right? Have you ever been driving to work and you're driving to work and you know you're late on, you haven't been doing really well, you kind of been out of it, you're kind of almost about to be late on a project, you've messed some things up, and you start thinking about the boss sending you a message, and he says he wants to meet with you one-on-one. And you're like, oh man, what if he does send me a message? He said that he wanted to meet with me last week. And you start to get nervous, you start to get short of breath, and you start to feel anxious, and your mind starts racing. What do I do if I lose my job? And you notice that your mind and your body cannot be disconnected from each other. And so it's you have to understand this happens all the time in our life. Have you ever been sitting on the couch and you're reading a book and maybe someone in the book cheats on the other character, and that character reminds you of that boyfriend that you had that cheated on you in the past? The moment that you walked in on him and saw the other woman at the same time and how much of an asshole he was, and then you start to get pissed and you're cussing him out in your mind and your body literally feels like it's back in that moment. It's the exact same feeling. And you have to understand, everybody is doing this all of the time at some point in time. We are creating a future in some sort of way based off of our past or based off of what we think is possible for us. And our body is always reacting to it at every single moment. In none of the examples that I gave you, the body is actually really doing anything. It's just kind of sitting there. But what happens? The mind creates the feelings in the body. Your mind creates the feelings of that imagined moment as if it were actually happening. So whether you project yourself into a past event that actually happened, or you project yourself into a fake future that you're imagining, this is really, really important for people to understand. And I've said this on the podcast multiple times, but I just don't know if people really, truly understand, like if they get it deep in their bones, is that your mind is constantly creating futures and feelings in your body. The same way that if you're imagining, okay, what if this tiger's attacking me? You're going to feel it in your body. Well, you're imagining to yourself, well, what if I get fired? What if I start this business and it fails? What if I ask that girl out and she says no to me? You're imagining. Most people, what I found, I was actually on a call yesterday and I asked the lady what she wants when I was on the Zoom call for one of the things that I coach. And she goes, well, I'm not really sure, but I know what I don't want. Like, that's the perfect explanation of how most people focus on what it is that they don't want. So much so that when I ask somebody what they want, they don't even know how to answer the question. They just go, well, I know what I don't want. That is so common. And if she knows that she doesn't want, that means that she's focusing on what she doesn't want, which means that her body is reacting to what she doesn't want as if it exists right now in reality, which is keeping her physically, mentally, emotionally in the exact same place so that she doesn't get out of her comfort zone and create the life that she wants. Some people listening to this podcast right now had something bad happen to them 10 years ago. And they wake up every single morning and they relive that over and over and over again. The moment happened 10 years ago, but you're beating yourself up every single day, putting yourself through the exact same stress that you went through when it happened. And whether you believe it or not, that's a choice. What you decide to focus on is a choice. That thing happened 10 years ago. You're still beating yourself up for it. Some of you wake up every single morning and you imagine a fake future that doesn't exist, that scares the shit out of you, and it creates anxiety in your body as if it's actually happening. And that anxiety in your body is keeping you from actually stepping forward into creating a future that you want. And you're just worrying too much about what could happen, what might be, about what's happened in the past. I've said this before many times in the podcast, but 85% of what you worry about will never happen. 85% of what you worry about will never happen. This is studied by psychologists. 12% of the remaining 15% out of the, 100 minus 85, there's 15 left. Out of that 15% left, 12% of that will not happen as bad as you think, which means that only 3% of what you worry about lines up with what you actually think will happen, which means 1 out of 30 things that you worry about will come true. Think about that for a second. That's crazy. So many people put themselves, their mind and their body through extreme stress every day, all day long. So if that's the case, how do we get out of it? Well, I'm gonna offer you a different perspective and what I would do if I were you to massively change your life. And here's what it is. It's very simple. It's 3 things, okay? Number 1, I want you to get clear on what you want. Not what you don't want. I don't give a damn about what you don't want. I want to know what you want. And I want you to get as detailed as possible. The more detail, the better. So I want you to figure out what it is that you want, what you want your life to look like. If I said, hey, fast forward 10 years from today, and you had 3,650 perfect days in a row, where could your life be? Where could your bank account be? Where could your business be? Where could your relationships be? Where could everything be? Where could your body be? Where could your happiness be? If you had 10 perfect years, 3,650 perfect days, not even one bad day, where could your life be? And I want you to get so detailed that you can literally see it. The more detail, the better. That's number 1. I want you to get clear on what it is that you want. Number 2, I want you to visualize it. How much do I believe in visualization? It's literally a chapter in my book. When you visualize something over and over and over and over again, you actually start to brainwash yourself into believing that it's possible. Because what happens is a lot of times when you write down what it is that you want and you get very clear on it, there's a part of you that's like, yeah, but I'm not good enough, or I'm not smart enough, or I failed so many times, or I'm not good at following through, or I'm lazy, or I like to sleep in, or I don't do anything that I'm supposed to do, whatever it is. And so even though you see what it is that you want, you still are old. Your old brainwashing of the past is holding you back from actually mentally deciding this is possible. When you visualize something over and over again, you are brainwashing yourself, right? We've all accidentally and unconsciously been brainwashed through society, through our parents, through advertisements, through all of that stuff, through our entire life, unconsciously brainwashed. I don't mean in a good way. I don't mean in a bad way. It's just what has happened. Well, now you're listening to this podcast and you're an adult and you want a different life. I want you to brainwash yourself. I don't want to brainwash you. I want you to brainwash yourself to create the life that you want, to start to believe in yourself the way that you want to. So what I want you to do is I want you to visualize it. And the reason why, the more detailed, the better for what it is that you want, is because the more detailed you can be, the more that you can visualize it. And visualization is easy for some people, it's hard for others. But the more that you do it over and over and over and over again, you become better at it. And the more detailed, the better is what I mean to the extreme. And so I'll give you an example. I've given this example many times. I give it in my book as well. And when in 2017, in January, my goal and my girlfriend's at the time, my wife now, goal was to go over and to live overseas. And we wanted to live mostly in Italy for 6 months. And I had built my business to be able to do so. She had built her business to be able to do so. I wanted to live overseas. She wanted to live overseas as well. So we're like, let's do it. And so the goal was July 1st, 2017. We're going to be living in Italy by July 1st, 2017. And at first, when I wrote that goal down for my New Year's resolution, I was like, that's not easy. Like, I just bought a house. I don't know. Like, my business is new. Her business is new. What if? And I started holding myself back based off of all of the what ifs. And I don't know if it's possible and all my fears and my limiting beliefs. 6 months is a long time. And so it was July 1st, 2017. I want to be in Italy. And so I started waking up every morning. And because I felt so much resistance of I don't know if it's possible, I was like, I need to brainwash myself into believing it's possible. I need to brainwash myself into want to be there. And so I would wake up in the morning and I started visualizing being in Italy. Being in Italy. And I was like, how can I make this? How can I bring all 5 of my senses here? And eventually what it progressed to is every single morning I would wake up, I would go on to Google Maps, I would find the part of town that I wanted to be in, which is a part of Rome called Trastevere, and I would look up different coffee shops that were around the area. And I would walk the streets. On Google Maps, you can move that little guy. I would move my little guy and I would look around and see what Trastevere looked like in Rome. And I would see myself walking to the coffee shop. And then what I would do is I would go outside. I'd take a chair physically and go outside in my back porch. I would have the sun on my skin. I would close my eyes. I would put on my headphones and I would listen to this track that was called Streets of Rome. So it sounded like I was in Rome and there was some Italian music and there was people talking and there was, streets going, people going up and down the streets on their Vespas you could hear. And I would take my coffee and I would drink my coffee because I was imagining walking to a coffee shop. So I was physically holding a coffee mug. I was physically getting the sun on my skin from being outside. I was drinking the coffee. So I was tasting it. I was smelling it. And I was hearing the sounds. I was bringing in every single physical, as much as I possibly could for all of my senses. And it got to the point where I did it so much that I didn't have any ounce of this isn't happening. I got to the point where I was like, I'm so excited to be there, but I cannot not be there anymore. And it went from fear to excitement. Let's hurry it the hell up. And so the goal was to be there by July 1st, 2017. We got there by June 1st, 2017, because I was just so excited, let's get over there. And then we spent 6 months out of the country and it was awesome. And it was the most amazing thing ever. But that's the importance of visualization and the detail that you can go into your visualization of bringing all 5 senses in, not just visualizing it and seeing it in your head, but tasting it and smelling it and everything that you could possibly, feeling it, everything you could possibly bring in. So you have to visualize it. And then number 3, speak it. With everything that you possibly can, talk about it, speak about it, tell people about it, talk out loud to yourself, talk in your head to yourself. You've heard me say it before, but the phrase abracadabra, the word abracadabra comes from ancient Hebrew texts, and it means, as I speak, I create. You are always speaking your future into existence with the words that you use when you speak them out to yourself, but also the words that you use in your own head, which is what you think. And so you've got to learn to stop speaking about what you don't want, to stop speaking about your fears, your limiting beliefs, your insecurity, and to actually start speaking into existence what it is that you want. If you could actually understand how powerful of a creator that you are, you would pay attention to every fucking word and thought that went through your head because you're creating it every single moment. And what you want to do is you want to figure out what this future is, and you want to visualize it, and you want to speak it, and you want it to become like this magnificent obsession of yours. Become so obsessed with your future that you don't have as much fear, but when you feel the fear, you do it anyways. But you become so obsessed with it that the future that you want to create is something that you're excited to do. And you can feel the fear, but you're going to do it anyways. And so it's like, there's times if you think about it, like one of the things that's crazy is we can imagine a future that scares us and we can feel the fear in our bodies right now, right? Like we can do that. If we can imagine a fake future and feel the fear in our body, which isn't real, can we also imagine a future that is what we want and feel gratitude for it right now in this moment? Is it possible that we can feel gratitude for something that hasn't happened yet? The answer is yes. And so what I want you to do is I want you to get clear on what it is that you want. I want you to visualize what it is that you want. I want you to speak it into existence. And I want you to start to feel gratitude for something that hasn't happened yet, knowing that that thing is going to happen. If you do that, your life will absolutely change. So that's what I got for you for today's episode. If you love this episode, please share it on your Instagram stories. Tag me in at Rob Dial Jr., ROBDIALJR. And with that, I'm going to leave you the same way I leave you every single episode. Make it your mission to make somebody else's day better. I appreciate you, and I hope that you have an amazing day.